Now, if she was to go to counseling, what kind of counseling would she need? I mean...
I don't like counseling.
Well, I understand that, Deanna, but sometimes... I don't like counseling either, but we have to go. I've been, I want to go.
Oh, well, you can go and tell me how it is because I'm not going. My foot is down on that.
Well, this is where you need to get better. You need to go so that I don't know the right words to use.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't see psychological problems as a big issue for you.
No.
So we did a little screening of depression and clinically of anxiety, and I wasn't seeing a lot of that. You endorsed the mild level of current depression, so there's some there. It's understandable given everything that you've been through. But I think that the aspects of frontal lobe executive dysfunction, which involves things like rage and anger and impulse control and coping and kind of what I would say emotional lability. Very labile, meaning there's a very wide range of your emotions when we were together. Laughing and then crying and then laughing and then crying and then angry, and there's a very broad range of emotions. But that's more the frontal lobe than a psychological. I actually don't know how helpful therapy would be, honestly.
Okay.
Behaviorally maybe and sort of coping, but coming up with some strategies maybe around sort of managing your frustration, kind of an anger management thing maybe. But your traditional kind of talk therapy, I don't know that would be the best answer.
Okay.
But I think really figuring out ways, and you as a family, as you work through this, and it will take time, and I know it's new, you just came back to Connecticut, it's a new role for you, this big change, and so it's going to take a little bit of time. But eventually, I think, it's sort of like the grief process, right? With the anger and then the bargaining and then, all of that, and sort of down to depression. And at the other end of that comes acceptance. And I think that needs to happen here. You know what I mean? Whereas a family, you're accepting your mother's help. You actually recognize that you need it.
I don't need it. I'm accepting it because it's helpful. But if I was by myself, I would do everything on my own.
Well, you're not to acceptance yet, is what I would say.
Okay.
I would say that I think it's a process. I think you're both. You're fighting this and wanting it not to be the way that it is. And in fighting that, you fight your mom, and your mom's trying to help, but it kind of hurts, day in and day out to get beat up. And then...
Hold on. Let me say this. The only time I hit her with my cane was the other week. I've never ever hit her with my cane before.
Yeah.
You've come at me a couple times.
But I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear. I don't mean beat up physically. I also mean emotionally. It can be really hard to be helping someone who's constantly upset with you.
Yeah.
And so that's got to wear down on her. But after a while, she, I think, will get to an accepting place of recognizing that you don't really mean it and seeing past your words to your heart and to your emotions and to how much you actually appreciate her help. And then together you're working on this problem and have a way to work on it without all of the tension and the push and pull. But
Yeah.
I think that you're really fighting being brain injured.
Yeah, she knows I appreciate everything she does to help me. I tell her thank you all the time.
Yeah. Well, it seems like she needs to hear it.
But
I just like her to show it a little bit more. you know, without the mouth and the anger. And I know that it's hard because of the frontal lobe.
That was pretty good what she just did. It may not get much more than that.
You know, so I mean,
except for the other day when she tried to kill me by not cooking my black beans over it.
I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was that easy. You're getting raw black beans from now on.
All right, so why don't you summarize?
And then me.
Oh yeah, we got to do the.
Damn it, don't grab.
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe we should be a photographer.